And that's all we manifest. We're constantly looking for ways to create new opportunities for new people. That's what our thing is. Our focus is on service. Our focus is, how can we make this world the richest way possible? I'm not talking about finances. How can we make the life experience of every human on this planet richer for us having been here? How can we create? See, we're looking at opportunities to give. And what I see so often in chiropractors, and by the way, people in general around the world, is everybody's looking, what can I get? And it's the famous be, do, have that they talk about in the Master Circle. Be, do, have. You know why lotteries are so popular with the common folk? You know why the uneducated, unwashed masses love a lottery? Because you can win $10 million. You go right to the have. You can have it all right now. And you don't have to work on the be, and you don't have to work on the do. Well, let me tell you something. That is why, if you study people that win lotteries in general, what are they in 10 years? Completely back where they were before. And that's what we found in this country, and that's what we found around the world. Poverty, or lack of abundance, or negativity, that's a consciousness. That's a mindset. Thoughts are things. In the book Think and Grow Rich, and I've got 3 books that you should write down that you should have in your arsenal. These are the 3 books that built me over 1,000 a week practice. And they built me an awesome life. These 3 books that I'm going to mention. I'll mention them to right now, because I don't normally say I'm going to mention these 3 books, then I get caught up in what I'm saying and I forget to mention the book. The first is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's a must-have. That's something that you need to read at least once or twice a year. And some people read it once a month. Number 2, and by the way, Think and Grow Rich, some people are turned off about it because they're like, oh, that's materialistic. Think and Grow Rich is not about money. It's about abundance. He's talking about a richness of a life experience. The principles that they teach in Think and Grow Rich are principles that people use to develop abundant lifestyles. So that's the number 1 book. Number 2 is the Green Books. And I was very happy, by the way, talking to you guys, because the tendency to believe with Palmer sometimes is that they've gone totally away from the philosophy of chiropractic. And to hear you guys talking about Green Books and actually know what you're talking about was pretty cool. I thought that they don't even teach that anymore. So it's very good talking to you guys about it. But the Green Books, which by the way, something I didn't have when I graduated, the Green Books are now on DVD or CD and stuff. So you have all that powerful knowledge right there. And when you're in practice, you should be reading those every single day. Because you've got to have this new paradigm for people. You've got to have it oozing through your DNA. When it comes to you, it has to come to you like, when you're talking to a practice member, it has to come to me like, thank you, God, for the 10 Commandments. I'm giving them to you. See, there's no hesitation in me. There's no doubt in my mind. This is a fact. God gave me this. The Green Books should be the same way. This is the Green Books. This is the philosophy of chiropractic. Innate intelligence. Subluxation. Our lexicon. Our terminology. We have to own it. See, we're afraid to talk about innate intelligence. We're afraid to talk about innate intelligence. And we're chiropractors. That's our word. D.D. Palmer invented that word, innate intelligence. And we're afraid as chiropractors to talk about it. And that's why we manifested this musculoskeletal pain treatment complex that is failing and falling down around us. See, we bought in as a profession into the idea of treatment of symptoms and disease through an alternative to medicine, through a natural manner. See, it doesn't matter how you treat disease or symptoms, natural or unnatural. Of course, preferably it would be natural if you're going to play that game. But treating symptoms and disease is a disaster. It's based on non-truth. Because symptoms and disease, like we talked about before, the map is not the territory. The symptom or the disease is not the problem. It's what is manifesting that. Where is the malfunction? Where is the disconnect with the innate intelligence in your body? Because believe you me, that innate intelligence doesn't need any book on the planet to know what to do. There's not a disease process known to man in existence that the human body, there's not at least one case that the human body is not self-resolved. People call that miracles. I call that's how the body works. Imagine where we've gotten as a culture. where when our body heals something that we can't figure out, that medicine can't figure out, we call that a miracle. That's not a miracle. That's life happening. That's what should be normal. If we can eliminate the interferences with that life force. Believe you me, that life force could take a cell from mommy and a cell from poppy, and bam, it's Father's Day or Mother's Day together, and whammo, we've got 2 cells, and now we've just created whatever, how many of a trillion cells that you have in a human being. And they're not consulting any book to figure out how to do that. That's natural. So then my question, and this is what always amazes practitioners when they come in. They've never heard this before. My question to you, when you come in to see me, is not, what's the symptoms? What's the pain? What's the disease? What we talk about, maybe certain states we have to write all that information down. But my focus is this. Why? Why is that the case? What are those symptoms and disease telling me? Where is the disconnect? Why and where? That's what I want to know. That's what sets us apart as a profession. You see, the other professions don't ask those questions. They go, symptom, boom, that's it. I got rid of it, success. Disease, boom, that's it. I got rid of it, success. Not us. We ask why and where. That's what we do as chiropractors. And the how is the chiropractic adjustment. The why is the philosophy of chiropractic. The where, science behind chiropractic. And the how is the art of chiropractic. That's why those are so important. You know, when they say chiropractic is a philosophy, science, and art, some people, shoo that away. That's what makes us great. We're afraid to talk about innate intelligence. So we manifested this sick world within chiropractic because we're afraid to talk about what made us great. And guess what? Other professions, and B.J. Palmer, I was talking in New Jersey to a group of chiropractors the other day, and there was a guy there who was, the guy must have been 150 years old. He's an old-time chiropractor. I mean, this guy was ancient. He knew B.J. Palmer. And when he heard me speak, he said, that's exactly right. He goes, B.J. talked about this in the late 50s. He said the way that they were going to get us was through a third-party paying system. He knew it. He saw the future. He goes, that's the way. They'll get us to give up our principles. And he goes, you're going to watch. Chiropractors, weak ones, will start talking more like medical doctors, and medical doctors will start talking more like chiropractors. And that's how they'll eliminate us as a profession. And that's exactly what happened. Who's on the Oprah Book Club? Everybody who's talking about innate intelligence is on the Oprah Book Club. No chiropractors are on the Oprah Book Club. Okay? We've got Deepak Chopra. Right? The body has an innate ability to heal itself. He's talking about innate intelligence. That's Deepak Chopra. He's on Oprah. Then you've got Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle, famous philosopher. He's on Oprah Book. These guys are millionaires. They're mentioning innate intelligence. He has a whole 2 pages in one of his latest books that he talks about the whole description of innate intelligence. It's like he took it out of the green books, put it in his book, and made millions. Because he's not afraid. He's not afraid to tell the truth. We've been afraid. Why? We've been afraid because we've been afraid that we're not going to get paid if we tell the truth. And that's like what we talked about before. Chiropractors used to always do health talks. They always used to do health talks. As soon as insurance came in, they stopped doing health talks because that's not a billable item. You can't bill in your office for educating a practice member. You can only bill for what? A treatment. You get paid for treatment. And so that's how they got us to move into the treatment mode. You can only get paid if you do a treatment. That's how they got us to accept insurance, or to accept that lexicon of treatment. And I still hear chiropractors talk. And students from Palmer, or from whatever, I was treating a patient. That's the lexicon that we've developed. We're treating people now. Not I'm analyzing, detecting, and correcting vertebral subluxation. You see, that's what makes us great. That's what sets us apart from everybody else on the planet. We're the only profession in the world that is highly trained to detect, analyze, and correct vertebral subluxation. Nobody else does that. We're the only chiropractic, we're the only profession in the world that works with innate intelligence. Nobody